The bell rang in 1985, but the echoes of Rocky IV still resonate in our hearts today. We cheered for the underdog and wept for the fallen hero. Now we're taking a deep dive into the lives of the actors who brought this epic saga to life. From Sylvester Stallone's enduring legacy to the surprising path of Dolph Lundgren, witness the passage of time on the faces of legends. The ending will break your heart. Sylvester Stallone as Rocky Balboa. Born on July 6, 1946 in New York City, the actor wrote, directed, and starred in this pivotal installment of his most famous franchise. At the age of 39, Stallone's portrayal of the Italian stallion in Rocky IV reached its commercial zenith, transforming the character from a gritty Philadelphia underdog into a larger-than-life Cold War superhero. The film became the highest-grossing entry in the series, and his battle against the Soviet juggernaut, Ivan Drago, served as a cultural touchstone of the 1980s, solidifying Balboa as a global symbol of American determination and spirit. While Rocky Balboa was beloved for his humble, soft-spoken, and sometimes simple-minded nature, Sylvester Stallone is an articulate, highly intelligent painter and screenwriter, creating a sharp contrast between the creator and the creation. This often resulted in critics conflating the actor with his character's meathead persona, denying him respect as a serious filmmaker for many years. Stallone also faced immense professional struggles with typecasting. Attempts to break away from action roles with comedies like Oscar and Stop or My Mom Will Shoot were critical failures. By the early 2000s, he found it difficult to secure studio backing, facing a career slump that relegated him to direct-to-video releases before he engineered his own comeback. Sylvester Stallone defied the industry's tendency to discard aging action stars and successfully transitioned into a respected elder statesman of Hollywood. As of 2026, at the age of 80, he is actively working and enjoying a career renaissance, leading the hit streaming series Tulsa King and appearing in the reality show The Family Stallone, which highlights his life as a father and husband. Having successfully passed the torch in the Creed spin-offs, which earned him an Academy Award nomination, he remains married to Jennifer Flavin and continues to write and paint, maintaining a legacy that has far outlasted the critics who once dismissed him. Dolph Lundgren as Ivan Drago. Born on November 3, 1957, in Spånga, Sweden, the martial artist and scholar made an indelible mark on cinema history with his breakout performance in Rocky IV. At the age of 27, Lundgren's portrayal of the towering Soviet infantry captain Ivan Drago became a cultural phenomenon, embodying the ultimate Cold War antagonist with his imposing physique and the chilling delivery of the line, "I must break you." The character's robotic intimidation and physical dominance helped drive the film to become the highest-grossing entry in the Rocky franchise for decades, instantly cementing Lundgren's status as a global action superstar. Despite the character's reputation as a monosyllabic, unfeeling killing machine, Dolph Lundgren is intellectually gifted, holding a master's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Sydney, and having been awarded a Fulbright scholarship to MIT. This sharp contrast between his real-life intellect and his on-screen persona became a source of professional frustration. He was severely typecast as a brawny, one-dimensional heavy. For many years, Lundgren struggled to break free from the mindless muscle stereotype, which relegated him to a decades-long career in the direct-to-video market, making it difficult for him to secure theatrical releases or roles that utilized his acting range beyond physical combat. Lundgren eventually achieved a significant career resurgence, particularly through the Expendables franchise, and by adding emotional depth to a returning Drago in Creed II. In recent years, he has been open about his private battle with kidney cancer, which he was diagnosed with in 2015, and has since advocated for health awareness while managing the disease. He also found personal happiness marrying Emma Crockdahl in 2023. As of 2026, at the age of 68, he is active in the entertainment industry, balancing his ongoing film projects with a focus on health wellness and producing content that reflects his journey. Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed. Born on January 14, 1948 in New Orleans, Louisiana, the former linebacker transitioned from professional football to the screen with a commanding physical presence. At the age of 28, Weathers first embodied the role of Apollo Creed, the charismatic and flamboyant heavyweight champion who served as both antagonist and eventual ally to Rocky Balboa. By the time of Rocky IV, his character had evolved into a patriotic symbol, delivering a performance that balanced intense athleticism with a tragic, memorable exit that remains one of the franchise's most pivotal moments. His portrayal established the template for the modern trash-talking showman-athlete, cementing his status as a cinematic icon. In reality, Weathers was known for a discipline and thoughtfulness that contrasted sharply with Apollo Creed's often reckless arrogance and hubris. While Creed was the master of disaster, Weathers was a dedicated thespian who studied drama deeply and sought to be taken seriously beyond his physique. He faced significant professional hurdles, particularly the challenge of shedding the action star persona after the 1980s. Despite leading roles in films like Action Jackson, Hollywood often pigeonholed him solely as the muscle, and he struggled to find work that utilized his full range until he successfully pivoted to comedy, lampooning his own tough guy image to revitalize his career. Carl Weathers experienced a major career resurgence in his final years, earning a new generation of fans and an Emmy nomination for his role as Greef Karga in The Mandalorian, where he also served as a director. He remained active in the industry, voicing characters in Toy Story 4 and continuing his work in the Star Wars universe. Carl Weathers passed away peacefully in his sleep at his home in Los Angeles on February 1, 2024, at the age of 76. The cause of death was atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. His death prompted a wave of tributes from co-stars like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, who mourned the loss of a legend who successfully reinvented himself across 5 decades of entertainment. James Brown as the godfather of soul. Born on May 3, 1933, in Barnwell, South Carolina, the musical icon brought his electrifying stage presence to the big screen in a scene that epitomized 1980s spectacle. At the age of 52, Brown's performance of Living in America served as the dazzling patriotic prelude to the exhibition match between Apollo Creed and Ivan Drago. The song became a massive cultural phenomenon, earning him a Grammy Award for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance and revitalizing his career by introducing the funk and soul legend to the MTV generation. Despite the glitz and disciplined choreography of his on-screen persona, James Brown's real life during this era was increasingly chaotic and starkly different from the control he exerted on stage. While he was publicly celebrated as the hardest-working man in show business, privately, he was fighting a severe downward spiral involving drug addiction, specifically to PCP, and volatile domestic disputes. This period marked a difficult transition, where his professional triumph in Rocky IV was quickly overshadowed by legal troubles. In 1988, he led police on a high-speed chase across 2 states, resulting in a prison sentence that temporarily halted his career and highlighted the tragic gap between the superstar showman and the troubled individual behind the music. James Brown returned to the stage after his release from prison, continuing to tour relentlessly and receiving numerous Lifetime Achievement Awards, though he never fully recaptured his commercial peak. He remained active in the music industry until his final days, with tour dates scheduled at the time of his hospitalization. James Brown passed away on December 25, 2006, at the age of 73, from congestive heart failure resulting from complications of pneumonia. His death was followed by a contentious and prolonged legal battle over his estate and the disposition of his body, which resulted in his remains being moved multiple times and delayed his final burial in a crypt at his daughter's home for years, a tumultuous postscript to a legendary life. Talia Shire as Adrian. Born on April 25, 1946, in Lake Success, New York, the actress first introduced audiences to the painfully shy pet shop clerk in the original Rocky, before her character's pivotal role in Rocky IV. At the age of 30, Shire's portrayal of Adrian Penino became the emotional anchor of the franchise, transforming from a timid recluse into the fierce, supportive backbone of the heavyweight champion. Her performance earned an Academy Award nomination and established a cinematic legacy grounding the boxing saga in genuine romance and giving rise to one of film history's most iconic lines, "Yo, Adrian." Despite the character's initial mousy and introverted demeanor, Talia Shire hailed from the powerful and artistic Coppola dynasty, possessing a creative confidence that contrasted with Adrian's quietude. This familial connection, however, was a source of professional struggle. She often had to fight against accusations of nepotism, particularly regarding her roles in her brother Francis Ford Coppola's films. Her career was also marked by the difficulty of breaking free from typecasting as the supportive wife or sister figure. A significant professional blow came with the revival of the franchise in Rocky Balboa, 2006. Instead of returning, she was written out with an off-screen death, a decision she admitted was hurtful, as she had wished to be part of the character's conclusion. Talia Shire has continued to work in the industry, nurturing a new generation of talent as the mother of actors Jason and Robert Schwartzman. She remained active in independent cinema and reunited with her brother for his magnum opus Megalopolis, released in 2024. As of 2026, at the age of 80, she is celebrated as Hollywood royalty, maintaining a dignified presence in the film community and appearing at special events to honor the enduring impact of the two massive franchises, The Godfather and Rocky, that defined her career. Burt Young as Paulie in Rocky IV. Born on April 30, 1940 in Queens, New York, the former U.S. Marine and professional boxer brought a gritty, authentic toughness to his performances. At the age of 36, Young first stepped into the shoes of Paulie Penino, a role that would define his career and earn him an Academy Award nomination. By the time Rocky IV was released, his portrayal of the cynical, jealous, yet ultimately loyal brother-in-law had become a cultural staple. In this installment, Paulie provided essential comic relief, famously receiving a robot for his birthday, and emotional grounding as Rocky's cornerman in Russia, solidifying the character as the franchise's curmudgeonly heart. The contrast between the actor and the character was stark. While Paulie was often depicted as abrasive, unrefined, and dependent, Burt Young was a man of deep artistic sensitivity and intellect. He was an accomplished painter whose art was exhibited in galleries worldwide, possessing a poetic soul that belied the rough exterior he projected on screen. Despite his range, Young faced the professional hardship of severe typecasting. His convincing portrayal of Paulie often limited him to roles playing mobsters, thugs, or blue-collar tough guys in projects like The Sopranos and Once Upon a Time in America, making it difficult for him to showcase his softer, more creative side in leading roles. Burt Young continued to act steadily for decades, accumulating over 160 credits, while dedicating his personal time to his writing and painting. He remained a beloved figure in the Rocky community, frequently engaging with fans who saw him as an uncle figure. Young passed away in Los Angeles on October 8, 2023, at the age of 83 due to cardiac arrest. His death marked the end of an era for the Rocky family, drawing a heartfelt public tribute from Sylvester Stallone, who honored him as an incredible man and artist who would be missed by the world. Brigitte Nielsen as Ludmilla Drago. Born on July 15, 1963, in Rødovre, Denmark, the statuesque model made an unforgettable entry into Hollywood cinema. At the age of 22, Nielsen's portrayal of the icy patriotic Soviet swimmer and wife of the antagonist in Rocky IV became an instant sensation. Her imposing physical presence, distinct blonde flat-top haircut, and cold delivery provided the perfect counterpart to the film's brute force, establishing her as an icon of 1980s Cold War pop culture and launching her into international stardom. In stark contrast to the stoic, calculating, and humorless Ludmilla, the real-life Nielsen was known for her exuberant, eccentric, and warm personality. However, this distinct gap between person and persona was often overshadowed by her tumultuous personal life, specifically her high-profile marriage to and divorce from co-star Sylvester Stallone. This media frenzy led to her being unfairly typecast as an Amazonian caricature, or a gold digger, making it difficult for her to secure serious acting roles in Hollywood. For years, she struggled to shed the tabloid image, eventually finding that the only work available to her was in B-movies or European reality television, far removed from the blockbuster success of her debut. Brigitte Nielsen eventually managed to reclaim her narrative, becoming a fixture in reality TV on shows like The Surreal Life, and eventually making a triumphant dramatic return to her breakout role in 2018's Creed II. Her personal life also found stability. She married Mattia Desi in 2006 and made headlines worldwide by giving birth to her fifth child at the age of 54. As of 2026, at the age of 63, she is actively enjoying motherhood and a revitalized relationship with the public, balancing a peaceful family life with occasional appearances that celebrate her enduring legacy as a unique figure in entertainment history. Tony Burton as Duke. Born on March 23, 1937 in Flint, Michigan, the former professional heavyweight boxer brought legitimate ring experience and intensity to the screen. At the age of 39, he first took on the role of Tony Duke Evers, a character that evolved from Apollo Creed's corner man to Rocky Balboa's lead trainer and spiritual anchor in Rocky IV. In the 1985 film, Burton's portrayal became a cultural touchstone, delivering the franchise's most stirring motivational speeches and famously embodying the "no pain" mantra. His performance provided the emotional weight necessary to ground the film's Cold War spectacle, establishing Duke as the ultimate symbol of loyalty and boxing wisdom. While Duke was often portrayed as a loud, hype-building extrovert in the ring, Tony Burton was a deeply introspective, soft-spoken, and intellectual man who was an accomplished chess player in real life. This contrast was born from a history of genuine struggle. Before finding acting, Burton served 3.5 years in prison for robbery, a time he utilized to earn a college degree and turn his life around. Despite his success in the Rocky franchise, he faced significant professional hardships, often struggling to find work between the sequels. He dealt with the frustration of being typecast as a background tough guy or trainer, fighting for recognition as a versatile actor in an industry that frequently overlooked his broader range. Tony Burton continued to work in the industry, securing memorable roles in films such as The Shining and Hook, and holds the distinction of being one of only 3 actors to appear in all of the first 6 Rocky films. However, his health began to fail in his later years, preventing him from seeing the franchise's revival in the film Creed, a project that paid homage to the legacy he helped build. Tony Burton passed away in Menifee, California, on February 25, 2016, at the age of 78, from complications related to pneumonia following a year-long hospitalization. His death was met with an outpouring of tributes from co-stars Sylvester Stallone and Carl Weathers, who credited his authentic intensity as the heartbeat of the saga's classic era. Michael Pataki as Nikolai Koloff. Born on January 16, 1938, In Alliance, Ohio, the versatile character actor stepped into the ring of Cold War politics for the blockbuster sequel Rocky IV. At the age of 47, Pataki's portrayal of Nikolai Koloff, the icy and bureaucratic manager of Ivan Drago, became a definitive representation of the era's movie villainy. With his sharp delivery of lines like, "Whatever he hits, he destroys," he provided the intellectual and political menace that complemented Drago's physical threat, making him an integral part of a film that became a massive pop culture phenomenon. Despite playing the role of a humorless, dedicated Soviet official, Michael Pataki was an American of Hungarian descent, with a gregarious personality and a distinct flair for the bizarre and comedic. This created a stark contrast to the rigid character of Koloff. In reality, Pataki was an accomplished director of cult horror films and a boisterous voice actor. His career was frequently challenged by typecasting, as his intense look and commanding voice often pigeonholed him into roles as thugs, villains, or stern authority figures. This limitation often obscured his broader talents as a filmmaker and comedic performer, forcing him to constantly navigate the industry's tendency to see him only as the heavy. Michael Pataki remained active in the entertainment industry well into his later years, finding a new niche and significant popularity in voice acting. He famously voiced the unhinged character George Liquor for The Ren and Stimpy Show and The Goddamn George Liquor program, showcasing a wild energy far removed from his Rocky character. He continued working in television and film until shortly before his death. Michael Pataki passed away in North Hollywood, California on April 15, 2010, at the age of 72 due to cancer. He leaves behind a legacy as one of Hollywood's most reliable character actors, forever immortalized as the voice of the Soviet opposition in the Rocky saga. Leroy Neiman as ring announcer. Born on June 8, 1921, in St. Paul, Minnesota, the world-renowned artist stepped into the cinematic ring to lend authenticity to the Rocky franchise. At the age of 64, Neiman's appearance as the ring announcer for the fateful Apollo Creed versus Ivan Drago match in Rocky IV solidified the film's connection to the real sporting world. Already famous for painting the world's greatest athletes, his cameo was a cultural crossover that underscored his status as a ubiquitous fixture in American sports, bringing his flamboyant style from the canvas to the screen. Despite his vibrant, extroverted public image defined by his trademark handlebar mustache and large cigars, Neiman's professional life was characterized by a distinct struggle for critical acceptance. While he played a confident showman in the film, in reality, he fought a lifelong battle against the serious art establishment, which often dismissed his work as superficial commercial illustration rather than fine art. This typecasting by critics excluded him from many prestigious museum exhibitions, a professional hardship that stung, despite his immense popularity and wealth. He often found himself straddling the difficult line between being a celebrity personality and a respected creator, fighting to be taken seriously in a field that frequently rejected his populist appeal. Leroy Neiman continued to work prolifically well into his later years, serving as the official artist for 5 Olympiads and countless Super Bowls. He remained a lifelong bachelor for much of his life, until marrying later, though he had no children, and focused heavily on philanthropy. Neiman passed away in New York City on June 20, 2012, at the age of 91 due to heart failure. Following his death, his legacy was cemented not just by his art, but by the Leroy Neiman Foundation, which he endowed with a massive portion of his estate to fund arts education and support underprivileged youth, ensuring his impact survived the critical snubs he faced during his career. Stu Nahan as commentator. Born on June 23, 1926, in Los Angeles, California, the veteran sportscaster brought his authentic broadcasting voice to the Rocky franchise, appearing in all of the first 3 films before his memorable turn in the 4th installment. At the age of 59, Nahan's portrayal of the ringside commentator in Rocky IV provided the film with a crucial sense of realism, grounding the heightened drama of the Cold War boxing match in professional credibility. His distinct voice and delivery helped narrate the brutal bout between Rocky Balboa and Ivan Drago, making him a recognizable fixture in the series and cementing his status as one of cinema's most reliable figures for sports authenticity. While his on-screen persona was that of an unshakable and authoritative observer, Nahan's real-life career in broadcasting faced significant volatility. Unlike the permanent fixture he appeared to be in the movies, his tenure in television news was subject to the harsh whims of the industry. Shortly after the success of Rocky IV, Nahan faced a major professional setback when he was unceremoniously fired from KABC-TV in Los Angeles in 1986 after 9 years of service, a move that stunned the local sports community. This period marked a difficult transition where he had to rebuild his standing in a competitive market, battling the instability that often plagues even the most beloved television personalities. Nahan rebounded to become a staple at KTLA in Los Angeles and continued his association with the Rocky franchise, returning for a final appearance in the 2006 film Rocky Balboa. He remained a respected figure in Southern California sports journalism, famously known as Silver Stu, for his distinguished hair and demeanor, receiving a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2007. Nahan passed away at his home in Studio City, California, on December 26, 2007, at the age of 81, after a battle with lymphoma. His death marked the end of an era for Los Angeles sports broadcasting, though his voice remains immortalized in some of the most famous fictional boxing matches in film history. It's more than just a movie. It's a time capsule of 1985 that still resonates in our hearts today. Watching the cast evolve from young icons to seasoned veterans is a poignant reminder of the beauty in every chapter of life. Was Apollo or Drago your favorite part of this epic saga? Tell us your favorite Rocky IV moment in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to stay connected with Hollywood's greatest legends.